Welcome to our project for MBA 600 Project Management. My name is Eric Church, and my two group members are Jarius and Chanice. Our project is for Graduate Program Information Studies. Our main focus was to enhance the image of Coastal Carolina University and inform the students who are thinking about applying.
For the first week into this project management class, we really got to delve into what is project management. We used a balanced scorecard to really analyze our ideas and to see what our vision and our strategic plans for the upcoming project for this semester was going to be. In the beginning of this project, we came up with 3 basic ideas that we ended up having to scrap because we all agreed as a team that it would be beneficial to bring information to the undergrad students about why it is important to attend grad school. This topic was a topic that was familiar to all of us, and we thought that it would enhance the image of Coastal.
Our main focus on this project was to create a presentation for our potential graduate students with information that we inquired from them throughout surveys that we gave out. We also wanted to increase the graduate program at Coastal Carolina's admissions rate.
For the most part, we were able to stay within the lines of our budget. We didn't spend too much money, but we did underestimate the number of prints that we were going to need, so we ended up needing about 60. So that's really the only place where we overspent.
A work breakdown structure tells us exactly what we need to do in order to make this project enjoyable and successful. In the beginning, we had collaborated with a professor in order to have 2 classes to present to and make this project presentable. From there, we did research and made surveys to get the information needed. We go by the motto, in the face of WBS, don't quit, because we felt a couple of times like we had to keep going and be persistent.
I know you're probably looking at this photo and wondering, how am I going to tie this into the project? But I just want to let you know that that face demonstrates exactly how we felt when we had to create a network diagram. Creating a network diagram was by far the hardest part of the project, but once we completed it, we realized that it was useful because it showed us things like our critical path. Another aspect of the project required us to load our resources and level in them. And we found this to be quite difficult, and we actually failed a couple of times. So we decided to rely on Microsoft Project to help load and level our resources, and it actually worked very well for us. In order to assess the risk that's associated with the completion of the project, my group was tasked with creating a risk registry. And on that risk registry, one of the things we found out was that if the presentation date had been moved, we knew exactly what we needed to do to complete the project on time. The surveys that I mentioned earlier were actually used as part of research to further help us understand how to create the optimal presentation. The survey had questions that were specifically designed to help us understand what students felt like had the greatest effect on their education. And cost was one of the biggest ones, which is why we created a slide specifically for tuition. One of our goals for the project were to create the perfect presentation. So we needed to understand how to create the perfect presentation. So my group and I decided to create a survey designed for students to tell us what they thought the perfect presentation entailed. And we were able to optimize the time of our presentation. We're going to show you guys what we actually presented to the class so you could understand what content was involved and why we used that content. And this here is the opening slide of the presentation, where basically I introduced us, I described the objective of the presentation, and I told them what we're going to do to keep them engaged.
In the surveys that we handed out, one of the questions were, what will motivate you to go to grad school? A lot of these students did not have the motivation, so we came up with 5 different motivations that motivated us to go to grad school. One of the ones that stuck out to us is the difference of salaries. Graduate students get an average of $10,000 more to 20, so that's a greater motivation.
So in our survey, we found that most of the students were interested in a Masters of Business Administration. But just to give them a little more insight on the programs that Coastal offer, we listed them here for them. And as you can see, Coastal offers Masters of Accountancy, Masters of Education, Masters of Science in Sports Science, one PhD program, and so forth. So we gave them some information on tuition and expenses, and we told them that the graduate tuition for in-state is cheaper than out-of-state. In-state is $576, while out-of-state or international pays $1,041. There's a $90 fee included for technology.
What students don't know is, what do they actually need when applying for grad school here at Coastal Carolina? Well, for the MBA program, you're going to need your transcripts, if you're transferred from a different school or this school, 2 letters of recommendation, your resume, and a GMAT test. These are the simple things that you need here for the business school.
The objective of this slide was to motivate students to attend graduate school at Coastal Carolina. So what we did was basically describe opportunities that are presented to graduate students. And you know, the first thing that I pointed out to them was having a graduate assistantship. You make $22 an hour.
So we all know, as being former undergraduate students, that presentation can be very boring and students will not like to pay attention. So we all came together and brought the idea that if we have a gift and ask students a question from the presentation, they will get a $5 gift card. The simple question would be a question from the presentation that we gave them in the beginning.
As mentioned earlier, one of the goals for the project was to engage students like never before. So we decided to approach this presentation from a unique stance. We decided to play music in the background, and we had a small speaker in the back corner of the room, and we just played a smooth instrumental by Miguel.
So this is the end of our presentation. We hope you enjoyed. We felt like our project was a complete success. We met all of our goals, we made a great presentation, and we got some great feedback. Our stakeholder performance was also great. His schedule was very flexible. Whenever we needed him, he was always there for us, and his classroom was awesome. I hope you enjoyed it.